Hello and welcome to Easy Money with Don Andrews. We're joined by David McKnight, and David is a best-selling author. He talks a lot about taxes and retirement, lowering your taxes. And one thing you might not know about David is he lives in Puerto Rico. And one of the reasons you live in Puerto Rico, or maybe the main reason, David, is the taxes, correct?
Well, yes. So
And
I
it's
lived in
beautiful and
Wisconsin for
gorgeous.
15
I've seen the
years.
pictures. It's gorgeous still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived on the lake in Wisconsin, which is 20 degrees colder than other parts inland by 5 minutes. Got a wind coming off the lake. So I would wake up every day and say, man, I'm going to be cold for the rest of my life. And now I wake up every day and say, man, I'm going to be warm for the rest of my life. So that was part of it. I can't lie. I also like the idea of taking our 7 children to a different part of the world where they could have a different culture that they could sort of immerse themselves in. But yeah, I can't lie. The primary motivation for moving to Puerto Rico was that if you're a qualified business, you move to Puerto Rico under what they call Act 20, Act 22. It's now called Act 60. Essentially, what they do is they waive your federal tax, they waive your state tax, and they charge you a flat 4% tax. And they also waive your capital gains altogether. Now, there are some qualifications and some things that you have to do to make sure that you maintain those tax benefits. But yeah, it has the effect of knocking a zero off of your tax bill. So if it's the right fit and the company qualifies, it definitely makes sense to at least consider.
So is it just for business owners, that role?
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea is, the federal government can. Puerto Rico is essentially more fiscally unstable than our own federal government. So there's 2 ways that the federal government can deal with that. They can either just give Puerto Rico money, right? And I don't think that that's what they're interested in doing. Or they can sort of create favorable tax treatment for companies that are willing to come to Puerto Rico and sort of stoke the economy and invest in Puerto Rico. And so I think that by choosing the latter, they feel like, yes, they're foregoing some revenue from the companies that are moving to Puerto Rico, but they would have had to have given that money to Puerto Rico anyway. And why not do it the right way by incenting companies to move to Puerto Rico to try to jumpstart the economy?
So is there a double taxation going on where if you earn money here, you have to pay taxes, like in the United States, say, or in New York or wherever? If the money's coming from here and then going to a business in Puerto Rico, does that business have to pay both the 4% and then wherever it is over here in the States, or is it just the 4%?
No. So essentially, to take advantage of the benefit, you have to become a bona fide resident of Puerto Rico. And so whatever money, so for example, I got 2 corporations, one in the United States, one in Puerto Rico. And so money can be sourced from that US corporation to my Puerto Rico corporation, so long as I satisfy all of the different requirements that they ask of me. Namely, I've got to live in Puerto Rico for 6 months and a day. I've got to spend most of whatever percentage of my time I spend in Puerto Rico. That's the sort of the percentage of my income that can be sourced to Puerto Rico. I've got to make sure that I don't have any close connections. In other words, is my family still living in the States and I'm living in Puerto Rico? Or do I have a second home in the United States that I visit every once in a while? Am I paying tithes to my church in the United States? Am I voting in the United States, or am I registered to vote in Puerto Rico? So they look at all of those different things to make a determination if you truly are there as a citizen and you're playing by the rules. And so
you really have to go all in. There's no, kind of
Yeah.
skirting around it. You have to actually live there and be a resident there full time.
Yep. And if you don't play by the rules, you'll have to give all the tax savings back, plus interest, plus penalties, in which case you would have been better off never coming down.
The one thing I tell my clients they're like, well, is there a way to kind of finagle this or toy? And I don't mess with the IRS. Just pay, it's not something that's worth getting in trouble with. Now, is this something that retirees can do, or is this purely just for businesses?
It really is just for businesses. So you have to qualify. You have to be willing to check all the boxes and move down there. And I mean, I've got a Puerto Rico driver's license. I'm a bona fide resident of Puerto Rico. I own a house in Puerto Rico. My wife runs a school in Puerto Rico. So, I mean, we are there. I mean, there's a lot of evidence that we are living in Puerto Rico, playing by the rules. It would be really, really tough to convict us of not playing by the rules because we're really all in on this. And so,
well, if you're thinking about doing it, I've also seen David's, we're friends on Facebook. I've seen the post of how beautiful it is there. It's also gorgeous. So thank you so much, David. Appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you want more information about retirement and investing, making money easy, you can go ahead and click here. Or if you'd like to subscribe, it really helps the channel. And then you also get updates when we release new information. You can click here to do that. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great day.